On this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll sit down with the experts from Dow AgroSciences to learn more about environmental stewardship and the importance of managing your pasture and rangeland. NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen starts right now.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Cattlemen know that rangeland and pastures are among our industry's greatest resource and also one of our greatest responsibilities. Given today's economic environment, caring for and enhancing the resources we own are critical. Joining me in the studio today for our discussion are Dave Owens, Senior Marketing Specialist with Dow AgroSciences, Rick Borgoni, he's the Manager of Range and Pasture Division for Dow AgroSciences. Also with us today, a Colorado rancher, Mark Frazier of Woodrow, Colorado, and Bob Lee, a cattleman from Judith Gap, Montana. Guys, thanks for joining us today for this program.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, I want to start with you. Sure. Dow AgroSciences has been heavily involved in the environmental stewardship program for well over a decade. Talk to us a little bit about why Dow sees this as such an important program to embrace.
Well, it's really kind of the culmination of everything that we do. We provide a pretty extensive toolbox of products for the ranchers to use. And I sit through an awful lot of corporate meetings, day in and day out. And we address all kinds of things and issues to keep that toolbox filled and keep it in the hands of our producers. Lots of those meetings are just not fun at all. But one of the most rewarding things that I do is when I get out and start traveling with the folks, and we'll go out and we'll look at Bob's place or perhaps Mark's, and we'll look at the projects that they have going on. And for us to sit down with them and watch them light up and say, oh, you've got to come see this. This is really a great thing that we're doing on this particular ranch. That's what it really comes down to for me. It's a very personally gratifying thing. And as a company, we really like to see these folks get recognized for the stewardship that they're doing out there on their rangeland.
You bet. I think it's important to show not just our industry, but everyone, the environmental stewards that folks in this industry are already, and we appreciate your help on that.
You bet. You bet.
Bob, you're a cattleman yourself, and I might add, one of the winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award there nationally. Talk to us a little bit about why you think this is so important to the cattle industry.
Well, first of all, winning that honor was very, very humbling because there's farmers and ranchers out there doing every day what we do. But what I find rewarding about it, we're in our 17th year of ESAP, or the Environmental Stewardship Award. And the dividend check that we get as producers down on the ground is sharing our ideas with others. Every region of America is different. We all learn to live within our environment. And at the same time, when we're doing our projects, working on with Dow AgroScience and NRCS, are great sponsors of this stewardship program, we get to go out and put down on paper so we can share with our other ranchers and our friends and neighbors. And we all learn to work within our regions. And I guess, Kevin, that's why we have 7 different regions where this Stewardship Award program initiates itself initially. In other words, we have a regional winner from 1 through 7, and then they all get together, and you can't believe the friendships that are garnered from that experience. The alumni, if you would, with this ESAP program is very rewarding. Just like Mark, it's great to come down to his country and talk with what he's doing. And I think that's the bottom line. It's our chance to showcase some of the greatest stewards in America and what they're doing to protect and enhance our environment.
Yeah, you're an environmentalist on more than just Earth Day, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk, Mark, just a little bit about your operation, or less about your operation, but more about what you believe the biggest benefits are of the Environmental Stewardship Program yourself, you also being, as Bob mentioned, one of the regional winners.
Absolutely, Kevin, thanks. I couldn't agree with Bob more. It's an opportunity to showcase innovation, and there is so much innovation. Each operator is working with a different set of resources, a different set of goals, and a whole new raft of creativity. So we appreciate the fact and are humbled and honored to have been recognized. But we look at ourselves as a poster child, if you will, but really just as a proxy for the whole group of folks that are doing really good things on the land.
That's a great point. There's a lot of people that don't even get recognized that are still doing great work.
Right.
Well, this year's winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award program are commonly referred to as everyday environmentalists. Let's head to South Carolina now to learn more about Yon family farms.
In the rich country of South Carolina, you'll find a family of 5 hard at work growing their purebred Angus seed stock enterprise. Kevin and Lydia Yon worked together managing cattle on another operation before founding Yon Family Farms in 1996.
This is a family operation. It's an operation that my wife and I have had the privilege to start together, so we're the first generation on this farm, and we get the opportunity to raise our children on this operation, and they're a big help to us every day.
We started with 100 Angus cows that we purchased from the farm that we managed, and we moved here 12 years ago and have expanded and improved. When we first moved to our farm, it was a former peach orchard with a tenant house and 2 small fenced pastures.
It's pretty amazing that they came here 12 years ago and got all this done in that short amount of time with nobody else doing it for them. They just started it all from scratch.
Now, Yon Family Farms includes 1,500 acres of pasture, hay, and cropland. They've added fencing, cattle working areas, and a feeding area for their bulls. And they've dramatically expanded their herd.
We run about 800 mama cows altogether. They're primarily Angus seed stock, and we have 2 bull sales a year.
They've definitely raised the bar on beef cattle production. They are very innovative producers, use cutting-edge technology. They've helped this industry so very much in our part of the world with the sales of their breeding stock.
Besides their cattle, the Yons also operate a small farm supply store, offer freezer beef to local restaurants and consumers, and have a thriving sweet corn business.
The sweet corn, every day we go pull it in about June for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'm usually the one who sells during the day. I sit up there until I sell it all out, get a truckload, and that's been a project we've been doing for a few years now.
From their sweet corn to their Angus bulls, the Yons are focused on producing high quality, and they bring the same dedication to stewardship of the resources under their care.
We try to take extra good care of our land because, of course, as being grass farmers, if we don't take good care of our soil, we can't grow good grass, and in turn won't have the ability to produce forage for our cattle.
We're a big fan of managed intensive grazing. We take big pastures and make them into smaller pastures with temporary electric fencing. We found that it really helps us in managing the grass, which in turn helps us to manage the cattle.
Facing drought now, they have the benefit of irrigated pasture to help manage their forage. To protect their soil, the Yons seed their grasses using no-till, and they work closely with NRCS to tackle projects that protect their land and water.
Through NRCS programs such as EQIP, we've used cost sharing to fence out ponds and stream banks.
They're very progressive. They're willing to try new items such as the fencing off the ponds and the streams, putting in the heavy use areas in the water troughs, and working with us on anything and everything that they have.
We put in concrete watering areas in all of our pastures. I think we've put in over 30. Around each of those concrete troughs there would be filter fabric, sand, clay, and then gravel on top. And we go back in and refurbish those as needed because there are a lot of cattle drinking at one time around the areas.
In fact, the Yons have installed more than 34,000 square feet of heavy use areas to benefit their cattle and the land. Perhaps most impressive, the family placed 100 of their acres into the Grassland Reserve Program.
It permanently keeps it as grassland, and you can't build up there, and it will always be related to agriculture.
I want this to stay a farm. I don't want it to develop.
I think it's great that we don't have to worry about that land ever being something other than grassland.
Though their family has been farming and raising cattle on this land for just 12 years, for the Yons, stewardship is a commitment for the long term.
We are honored to have this privilege and feel blessed to get to wake up every day and take care of the land, but it's also a responsibility to do all that we can to make it better.
You know, you're never done improving the land. We see something every day that we think we need to work on or wonder how we can make that better, and you know, we'll keep doing it as long as the good Lord allows us to. So yeah, we really are living our dream out.
The National Cattlemen's Foundation, in partnership with Dow AgroSciences, recognizes 7 outstanding farms and ranches across the country each year. To learn more about the Environmental Stewardship Awards program, just visit our website at cattlementocattlemen.org.